Hello, everybody. This is Bruno talking, and today we will talk about challenge of physical stores in a social distance period. Uh, so this is the agenda. So I'll share with you a little of my background. Then we'll talk about the COVID, the before COVID scenario, and the after COVID scenario. Challenge for sellers, how to adapt to this new environment, and the major pains which are paying and delivering. So a little bit about my background. I'm graduated in economics at Unesp. I'm from Brazil. This is a Brazilian university, one of the most respected universities in Brazil. Then I graduated at INSPER in an MBA, and I also have a post-MBA at Chicago Booth. There you can also have my LinkedIn profile, so you can just contact me and add me on LinkedIn, and you can be connected. I have 12 years experience in payments. I worked with credit cards, financial services, banking, insurance. I also have experience in e-commerce, prepaid cards, wallets, acquiring, checkouts, overall digital sales and digital world, UX, UI. And I also worked in a startup environment with Agile and Safe. And a little bit about my background. I started my career at Itaú Bank, which is one of the major banks here in Brazil. I worked in many other banks. Then I moved to fintechs. I worked at Mercado Pago. I worked at Sodexo. And more recently, I'm working at Amazon, also with payments. So feel free to connect with me at LinkedIn. So getting to the topic, when we have the before COVID and after COVID period, we can talk about challenge and we can talk about the learning curve. That's all we can first think about this period. So before the COVID-19 scenario, things were pretty comfortable and pretty smooth. I mean, we used to have a business model focused only on brick and mortar stores, and they have never gone to e-commerce or they have never gone to marketplaces. And that's because they didn't need to go to e-commerce or to marketplaces, because they were shopping malls or they were street stores, and they were pretty comfortable with that business model. I mean, they had convenient services, convenient products. People were used to the places and were used to go to the store, to have some contact with people in there or with the sellers in there. So it was an environment of friendship and very, very comfortable for people. And especially when we think in small business, especially in some emerging countries, this small business have some kind of convenience that big stores do not offer, like a very, very close relationship with customers and some buy now and pay later options. It's very important. It's a very important feature and service in some stores, especially in emerging countries. And this close relationship was also a way of keeping customers loyal to the sellers. So they are used to the salespeople in there, they are used to the product, to the place. So very comfy environment and very comfy place to be in. And when we think about payments in this scenario, we're talking about the traditional and old school payment methods, basically cash. When you think about especially emerging countries, not talking about the developing economies, emerging countries relies on cash. I mean, that's the biggest choice for most of people in emerging countries. Then we have debit cards, then we have credit cards, and then we have QR codes. QR codes, they are increasing, though they were like slow increment, but they were increasing. And well, why? Why do we have cash-based economy? When you think about emerging countries, we have lots of informal workers, and we have many people with low income in the low income scenario. So basically, we have people that do not have access to digital payments and do not have access to credit cards, debit cards, or any kind of banking services. So because of they do not have this kind of financial services access, they have to rely on cash. They are informal workers, they are on the informal economy. So it's hard for them to access this kind of digital payment methods. So we have a very interesting mix in here. We have stores with solid methods and solid business models. We can talk about big stores and big retail stores. We can talk about small sellers, small stores in big cities or in small cities, in developed countries or emerging countries. And these stores works pretty well with cash. And they can reach cash-based people because these people goes in that store, pays with cash. So everything very, very comfortable. And these stores, some of them, of course, started to work with e-commerce. The big ones, they started their own e-commerce sales, and the small ones, some of them started join at marketplace like Amazon or Mercado Libre or other marketplaces as a way to diversify their sales channels, but very, very slow. I mean, it was not their first sales channel, it was not their first choice of sales. They started to sell at these online channels as a way of understand the behavior and understand how these channels could add value to customers and add value to sellers. So a kind of experimentation way. Then we have the COVID. So I'd like to say that nobody expected a scenario of like we are having today. So overnight, we had to face social distance procedures. I mean, millions of people were forced to stay at home and to not go out. I mean, that's challenging. That's challenging for people in general. That's challenging for sellers. Not only working from home, but having to stay at home without any kind of contact with friends, with family, with colleagues. That's hard. That's psychological hard for people to change their behavior and change the way we interact with others. And this also included avoiding to go to physical stores. I mean, many physical stores in many places just close their doors. Some of them, like essential groceries or essential drugstore, they could remain open, but the major of stores close their doors. So that's challenging for people that were willing to buy something, and of course that's challenging for sellers that overnight had to face closed doors and had to face increasing costs and no revenues on the other side. So that's an unprecedented story in this world. I mean, we never could think something like this. And of course, you have this concern. Okay, I'm closed. I'm as a seller, I have to close my store. So what do I do? How to sell if I cannot open my store? Or how to sell if there are no customers? I mean, even if I could open my store, there are no customers on the street, there are no customers on the mall. So what do I do? And on the other hand, we also have customers that had to stay at home without going out. Customers that many times were afraid of going out. So how to buy, how to consume? These are not minor challenges. I mean, these were real challenges, and many people were concerned about how to consume, how to keep in consume. And of course, sellers, they were struggling to keep their doors open or to keep their business running and not to close definitely and to run out of business. So, especially for sellers, the first question is, okay, what do I do? And the first thought is, okay, you have to shift quickly to a new world, to a new scenario. And by quickly, I mean real quickly, because from day to night, overnight, millions of sellers had to shut their doors. And okay, I cannot have my doors open. How do I do? So for small sellers, of course, we're talking about small sellers even in developed countries or emerging economies. For small sellers, there are some few resources, there are some few tech services and features that might support them and might support this shift towards digital sales. So we're talking about social media, we're talking about messaging apps. So okay, everybody, almost everybody now have some access to messaging apps like WhatsApp, like Facebook or so on, and also to social media. So these small sellers can connect to their networks, can connect to their nearby customers, reactivate this contact and starting to share some products, some services, starting to have this approach to keep the sales on. Of course, you're talking about delivering, like, okay, this is Bruno from the bakery store. Do you need something now? Can I deliver some products to you? So we're talking about small things that may be the biggest step to a seller to keep their business running. Also for small sellers, there is the option, I mean, maybe one of the best options here, to start to work with marketplaces. I mean, there usually are open marketplaces that almost every seller may join. We can think about local marketplaces focused on local communities or some regions, some cities, but there are also national operation marketplaces that you can sell to almost the whole country. So there are many marketplaces like this working around the globe. That could be a very good way to keep business running. Of course, small sellers have to understand how to work with this marketplace, their rules, their fees, how to have a good product announced in there, how to take photos, how to describe these products and the services, and so on. But in general, these online marketplaces are a safe way to announce some products, announce some services, and also to sell and to receive the money from the sales. So that's a very good way to go to this digital world with low efforts. In general, it's just to access these marketplaces and announce and upload the information of these products and keep business running. So we have social media, messaging apps, we have also the online marketplace that may boost sales, but every small seller also has established customer base. I mean, we're talking about small sellers, so they tend to know every customer they have. So of course, there are many digital tools and digital ways to approach new customers, or even to keep in contact with their established customer base. But if you are a small seller, or if you know some small sellers, you as a small seller, you can just reach by phone, of course, or directly by some message. You can reach your customer. Like, okay, I'm Bruno from the bakery and I had to shut my door. So how can I deliver some product to you? How can I serve you today? I mean, don't be shy to do that. That could be the difference between running out of business or keeping our business on. I know it's not that digital, but that's a way to keep a direct contact with customers and also have an online feedback from these customers. Of course, that would work for small customer base. Of course, a big customer base wouldn't work like this, but a small seller can just reach their customers as simple as that and offer complementary services or the traditional services they use to offer. And in addition to that, these small sellers can identify potential customers nearby their stores or nearby their office and proactively reach them with new delivery services. I mean, just leaving some notes, just to leave some paper ads in their doors or in with them. Leave this material and just say like, hello, I'm Bruno from the bakery nearby you. I'm not sure if you have ever met, but hey, here is all the services and all the products and features I can deliver to you. I mean, this is the most old school way of advertisement, but in a challenge scenario like this, I mean, every work and every tool and every method worth. I mean, we're talking about social media, message apps, we're talking about online marketplaces, which are the most advanced way of selling nowadays. But we should not forget the traditional approach, the traditional traditional online contact, like calling customers or delivering some paperwork to them, just to let them know that okay, you are working and maybe you are struggling, and you would be very very happy to deliver new products or complementary products to them. For big sellers, of course, have a very different approach. Big sellers, they tend to have more resources to run their own e-commerce. I'm not telling it's easy. No, a retail and brick and mortar store business is one kind of business, and e-commerce is a completely different kind of business. There are some challenges that I will talk in a minute, but they can run their own e-commerce. I mean, they can run a website, they can start selling more and more. And if they have some e-commerce, they have to pay attention in the products they are offering. So maybe it's time to change some products, to offer complementary services, to adjust products and services to what consumers need now. So that's a way to keep a direct contact and keep their brand to customers, even if customers are not cannot go to stores. They can also join some marketplace, like big marketplace with national operations as a supplementary sales channel. That's also a possibility. But joining marketplaces may also be like a widespread of their brands. I mean, big marketplaces tend to deliver huge amount of access to some product or to some services. So that's a way to have an additional audience reaching your product and reaching your services. That might be an option. And of course, if you have your own e-commerce and you are willing to join marketplace, you have to think about products and services that will sell through your own e-commerce and through your own channel, and products and services you will sell through marketplaces. Maybe we're talking about different kind of products, different kind of services, maybe different combos, because customers from your own e-commerce may be different from customers from the big marketplace. So have to pay attention on that. Maybe something that works on a commerce, some kind of product, will not work in this marketplace. So have to pay attention on that. And of course, about pricing. Maybe the pricing of our own e-commerce would be different from the pricing on some big marketplaces, because there are some additional fees that you have to identify and have to check if it's worth and how to manage it. Then for big sellers, especially in retail and brick and mortar stores, they tend to focus their marketing efforts for in-store activities, in-store actions, in-store ads, or maybe some physical ads like in streets or other places. So if you cannot run your business business as usual, like in the brick and mortar stores, you have to overnight shift to the digital marketing in social medias. I mean, now that people have to stay at home, now that people cannot go away as the way they used to, they are accessing more and more digital content. They're accessing more streaming services, they're accessing more digital media, they're accessing more online education. So they changed their attention from the physical world to the digital world. So how can you be more present in this digital world? How can you develop a strategy to be present in social medias, in streaming platforms, online education platforms, and so on and so forth? Because this is now the main channel that people are paying attention in. It will not be effective for you keeping advertisement or keeping efforts in the physical world. You have to change immediately to this new digital world, to new media platforms, and of course, have to think about it carefully. The strategy in the physical world is completely different in the strategy of the digital world. So physical world is one thing, the digital world is other one. And I really encourage you guys to ask for some help. Ask for some company that knows how to work with social media, how to work with this digital world, because maybe you can end up spending tons of money in some kind of tool, in some kind of service net that ending up being not effective for what you need. So please pay attention on that. That's a challenge moment. And of course, you have to identify opportunities and you have to target the right opportunity. Let's avoid wasting time and wasting money in this challenging world. And at last, these big stores, these big retail usually have a strong presence in physical world, so they can merge the online stores with their online operation with their brick and mortar stores, like pick up in store. I mean, that's a way of keeping that emotional memory from customers that were used to go to some store, but now they can't because of the COVID. But with pick up in store, they can keep this emotional memory. They can go to some store, pick up everything they need in a parking lot with all the safe and distance measures and go home. So that's a way of keeping customers engaged and keeping them remembering all the physical places you have. Of course, I would say that's not the main service, but that's something it's worth to think about. So I would say that for digital sales, in digital sales war, there's only one chance to succeed, especially for the new customers going on digital. I mean, there are some customers that are used to buying online, okay? And if they have some bad experiences, they will not come back. I mean, if there are some customers accessing some app, accessing some digital services, if they have good experiences, they will come back. They will think, oh, this is good. I like this experience. I will come back. I will buy again. But on the other way, if some customer or a group of customers have a bad experience, they will be unhappy customers. And guess what? They will not come back. They will never buy again. And worse than that, they will express their unhappiness, they will express their dissatisfaction in social media. I have to tell you, an unhappy customer will express its dissatisfaction or unhappiness in Twitter, in Instagram, in Facebook, will tell friends. So that will be a very, very bad advertisement for our business. I mean, that's the trick challenge, that's the trick part of going to the digital world. If you have a very solid and very robust and very successful brick and mortar store, and if you go to digital, but offer a very, very poor service on this new digital world, you will probably lose this customer forever. Even after this social distance scenario, even after COVID, this customer will not come back to your store because this bad memory will remain for a long, long time. So that's the challenge. So before starting to this new digital world, there are some very important questions that we have to think about, to deeply think about. I used to say that it's not hard to sell online. It's not hard to open a online business. It's not hard. That's not hard. There are many companies that offer some kind of tools and some kind of platforms that you can just access and start selling online, starting on this digital world. But the hardest part is how to provide a good service, how to provide a meaningful service, and how to make it worth for customers. So that's the hardest part. Going online, it's not hard. Keeping a very good service level, yes, that's the hardest part. And if you think about online, you are competing with many other companies that have some background, that have some experience on that. So you have to pay attention on that also. But coming back to questions, there are some important questions. Maybe we're talking about basic questions, but maybe in a desperate moment, some sellers just forget to think about it. But it's very important to know your customer. Who is your customer? I mean, who is really your customer? What are their problems? Where do they live? How they live? What they consume regularly? Did they change some behavior, some consumption behavior? Do they have a new need? What communication channels do they prefer? Do they buy online by smartphone or PCs or personal computers? Because the solutions for smartphones and for personal computers, they differ. And how do they pay? They are cash-based people. They are people that are used to credit cards or debit cards or so on. So maybe you would think that these are basic questions, but these questions can drive the way you will serve your customer. These questions will drive how to serve your customer, how to provide a very good experience and very good purchasing and buying experience to this customer. And of course, that's a very challenging moment for everybody. So, okay, once you start a new movement, once you start online sales, it's very important keep a contact channel with customers. So ask feedbacks to these customers. Please don't be afraid of asking feedbacks, and don't be afraid of what they will tell you. Maybe they will tell you hard things, but that's the way you will grow. That's the way you will be more mature as a business, more mature as a sales person, more mature as a online player to better serve this customer. And of course, once you have these actions, also identify our customer, and also have this feedback. Acting first is acting fast. Sorry, it's very, very important. I mean, these customers are also facing a challenge. I mean, this new scenario, this challenge scenario is challenge for sellers and for customers. So if there are some feedbacks, some challenge feedbacks, if you act fast on these feedbacks, the customers will recognize it. They will say, oh, I told him some feedbacks, I told him some hard feedbacks, but this company, this big company or this small company, they acted fast. They identified my complaining, they apologized to me, and they fixed it fast. So that's a human way to approach it. I have to say, it's not wrong to fail. It's not wrong to have some mistake. But the difference between a successful business, a successful small company or big company is recognizing this error, recognize this failure, apologizing, acting fast to fix it, acting fast to evolve, and keeping this contact with these customers. Every company and every case of failure that we know, that companies recognize their mistake, recognize their failures, and apologize to customers. These customers created a better net prompt score than the customers without any kind of problem, without any kind of complaint. So that's crazy. I mean, if there are some customer with a bad experience with a kind of complaint, and you act fast, recognize it, you apologize, this customer become more loyal than tends to become more loyal than a regular customer without any kind of complaint. So it's very, very important to be humble in this moment and recognize, okay, I'm struggling, I'm facing some challenge right now, so sorry, I will work, I will do my best to correct it and to deliver the best service I can deliver to you. And remember, we are facing challenge times, but not only companies are facing challenge times. Customers are also facing challenge times. They also were pushed to this learning curve to digital. So think about it. There were customers that have never gone to digital, have never bought anything online, anything through e-commerces or through marketplace, and overnight they were forced to adopt any kind of digital tool. They were forced to learn how to use a smartphone. They were forced to access social media and so on and so forth. So having that in mind, please adapt your services, adapt your language to this new customer also. So there are customers that are not used to the digital world language. So keep it simple. Keep the terms of your business simple. If you are running any kind of new app, make it legible, make it understandable, make letters bigger, because there are some customers that have some challenge in checking their smartphone and looking at their smartphone. And also there are some customers that have high-end smartphones and some customers that have like feature phones. So keep that in mind. If you are offering a new app, maybe a light app is much better than a very heavy and complete app, because a heavy and complete app will not fit your customer's smartphone. So it's challenge for you, it's challenge for customers, it's challenge for everybody. So being on customer shoes, it's very important, not only to make right questions, not only to identify complaints, apologize, and being more close to this customer, but also to deeply know how this customer behaves. And also keep in mind that this customer is facing COVID scenario too. It's not only sellers, it's not only small sellers, it's not only big sellers. This customer is facing digital social distance too. So this customer maybe is not close to close to family, close to colleagues, and so on and so forth. So it's psychological hard also for customers. So keep that in mind when you think about services and products you will offer to these customers, and also how to proactively act in some case of complaints. And when we think about going digital, as I said, selling online or having some online business, that's not hard. That's easy. There are many platforms that are paying platforms. There are free platforms that you can access, and you can just start your business online. But the day after you start it, that's the hardest part. That's where the big problems arise. So we have here paying and delivering may be the best or the worst experience for consumers, and that's true. When you think about all the customer journey, the biggest pains are on paying process or on the delivering method. So there's challenge and opportunities when you talk about paying and delivery, especially in this COVID-19 scenario. We have the opportunity to avoid cash. I mean, of course, cash has its challenge, but with this new scenario, we can just avoid cash. We can think about digital ways of selling, digital ways of paying. We can go to card acceptance. We can also rely on payment links. There are many ways to just share a payment link through WhatsApp, to other message apps, or also through digital and social media, and customer will pay, and that's it. And beyond that, we also have QR codes, peer-to-peer transfer, rewards. I mean, we can start to test these new payment methods. Of course, you have to identify if your customer can access some kind of digital payment method. As I said, there are many emerging countries that customers rely only on cash. So, okay, my customer relies only on cash. How do I make this cash to go online? So there are some services that I can access. There are some tools that I can access. Maybe some banking services that I can just partner with. I mean, it's very important to identify the best way of paying through the purchase flow, and also how to have a very, very smoothly payment experience, and also a smoothly cash-in experience, which is when a customer takes the money and completes the payment. And also, in this COVID scenario, many people lost their jobs, many people have no income, and many people are struggling to make ends meet in a month. So if you offer some installment purchase or buy now and pay later options, that would be a very, very helpful and a very, very helpful way to keep in contact with consumers. There are some small stores, especially in emerging countries, that informally have this buy now and pay later payment method, but it's hard on big retails to have this. But that's a way to also encourage customers keep buying and keep this relationship with your customers. If your customer will try to buy again but have no money, and you cannot offer this option or any kind of payment option, the customer will buy in another store, in another retail that have installments or have buy now pay later option. So that's very, very important. And the other thing is delivering. So if you just overnight shift to this digital world, you have to think about the size and weight of our products, because that will affect the cost of shipping and also how to package it to have a safe shipping and safe shipping processes. Uh, there are also the traditional shipping ways, but you can think in other ways to deliver a service, like pick up in a store or send someone to the customer home or customer office to deliver this product. I'm not talking about delivering only delivering for free. Maybe it's worth for you deliver for free, but maybe you can charge customers for it because they will value this service. Again, choose the best packaging. There is nothing worse than ordering something and receive a broken product, a scratching product. That is frustrating. And people will remember that, and they will never buy again with you. Identify potential problems like broken items, smashing items, maybe some leaking products, like if you're buying some kind of wine or some kind of beverage, and how to mitigate it. That's a way, again, that's a way to provide a very, very improved user experience to your customer. And as a consequence, carefully choose the delivery partner, because that would be the difference between delivering a very, very successful product and delivering in a successful way than having a very, very poor service. And the last but not the least, when we think about delivering, if someone buys online, that's automatically generates an anxiety. Like, okay, I just bought something and this e-commerce just told me that it will take like 2 days. So I will be waiting 2 days to deliver it. So keep your customer informed about shipping time and about every kind of change that may happen. I mean, if some product is delayed, if some shipping is delayed, that will drive to a bad experience, and that will drive to unhappy customers. And unhappy customers is not good, they will not come back. And if you have some problem with shipping, with any kind of provider, let your customers know, like, I'm sorry, we had some problem, I will give you some discount in our next purchase. I really want to apologize you, but please keep a loyal customer. That's humble. That's humble, and that's a fair way to deal with your customers. And at the end of the day, you as a company, even a small company or a big company, you may outsource some kind of payment and delivery services, but you are fully responsible for this entire process. I mean, your customer, they do not know if you outsource your payment service or if you outsource your delivery services, and they don't care about it. They are only worried about buying with a smooth process and have a very good experience in receiving the product or the service in their homes. I mean, they do not care if you outsource some kind of payment services and it's failing. They do not care if you outsource some delivery services and your delivery partner is not good. They do not care. And if some of your partners fail, you will fail as a company. You will deliver a bad experience to your customer, and this customer will become a churn. They will never buy again with you. So keep that in mind when choosing your partners, when choosing your payment services, when choosing your delivering services, because that can be the difference between a successful operation and an unsuccessful operation. Some of you may think, oh, pay and deliver is a detail. No, it's not a detail. That's one of the most important parts, most important process in all online and all e-commerce services, okay? And that will be the difference between a happy customer, loyal customer, and a churn. So I just want to thank you guys, thank you all for this time with you, and just to let you a very, very strong message. Only the paranoid survive. And as Taleb said in the Black Swan, this is a Black Swan period. I mean, nobody would expect it. It's hard to describe it, but that's a way for us to be more productive and to diversify our business. I mean, there are some business that can learn by love and learn by understanding customer behavior, understanding the trends. There are some business that only learn by pain, only learn by suffering. That's part of life. But let's take the best of this scenario. Let's use this challenge we have now to diversify our business, be more contact, be more close with our customers, and identify better ways of serving our customers. Thank you again. Bye.